Pues no pensé que iba a venir aquí, pensé que iba a crecer allá con mi abuelo, porque como él sembraba como maíz y así, mi abuela hizo tortilla y frijol, comida de allá. Y mi papá, mamá y yo pues queremos una vida mejor, entonces vinimos acá. Pues yo vine acá pues a trabajar, no pensé que iba a estudiar, no pensé que iba a venir acá a trabajar en el field con mis padres y luego nos fuimos para allá, pero if they speak, they'll get fired. Vinimos acá mi papá a trabajar. Well, they didn't do the math. Yo estudié. They can't speak Spanish. Some of them can, but again it's like if you speak you'll get fired. And if you get fired, your whole family has to move out. Otro hermanito chiquito que tiene 3 años. This company, like a big company, will be stealing money from its worker and not like doing anything to help give it back. Whether that's like fixing the camp for them or pay the holiday for the farm workers or just giving them like small breaks, but nah.
Listening to farm workers tell their stories, and actually really listening to them, it's very hard to walk away from that kind of ask to get involved and stand up in solidarity.
So one of the workers there, he asked the supervisor if they can raise it to 3 more cents, to pay 3 more cents per pound. They didn't want to, so they told us to either get in work for the same amount, like they'll pay us the 30 cents per pound, or if we didn't want to work, we can just go home. Yeah.
It doesn't take much to learn that that Familias Unidas, deserve to be recognized as a union, and they deserve to be treated like, workers with rights.
And I think as more boycott committees form, as more students help represent their issues, that's one of the first things that we teach, is that it's not about us doing the work and it's like our work to do. It's just us doing work for other people.
I think it started for me with my family. I think it starts for a lot of people with their family too, like the values that they're kind of raised with. So something that's been important to my family has been service.
For a really long time, my parents instilled social service, especially direct social service, as like a way for us to be involved in our community. It wasn't outrightly said in our family like, oh, you need to do this thing because it's good for the community. It was just something that we did as a family.
Coming from a place like Bainbridge especially, I've also been acutely aware of how much resources and how much of an ability I have, to serve.
When I work, I get my paycheck, and whatever I get there, I give it to my family, because like I want to help my family as much as I can, and by working with them like during summer, since I don't go to school, I can work like full time and give my family my paycheck.
Estamos peleando $15 por hora.
We're fighting for $15 an hour
porque queremos sacar a nuestros hijos de trabajar.
Because we want to get our kids out of the fields.
This is the only area in which the American farm labor supply falls short and is supplemented by Mexican citizens. Sometimes called nationals or Mexican nationals, but the term most commonly used is braceros.
Nosotros, los trabajadores del campo,
Us, the farm workers,
somos los únicos que nuestros hijos a los 12 años
we're the only ones that have our kids at 12 years old.
tienen que estar trabajando para ayudarnos,
They have to be working out in the fields to support us
porque no ajustamos a pagar rentas ni biles.
because we don't make enough to pay our rent or our
Y
bills.
ya no queremos eso.
And we want to stop that.
Nosotros somos mixtecos, pero merecemos un sueldo justo.
When you talk about a farm worker who doesn't speak Spanish and probably not English, who is speaking their indigenous language and working in the fields for 10 to 12 hours a day, sometimes longer, depending on if the sun is high or not.
And working in farm was the only job I can get, because like I'm not old enough, and well, they see me as like, you know, small kid. Oh, well, we can treat this kid how we want. They won't say anything. Yeah.
And then understanding that a student who goes to school for maybe 5 to 6 hours a day, maybe they have a part-time job, maybe they don't, but they speak English and they have access to a space that farm workers generally don't. I think students' voices are a lot louder than a lot of politicians might even want to admit to.
Yeah, I mean, something I always like to talk about is like, you know, there's only a couple of years. I tell this to UW people that I talk to sometimes, is that there's only a couple of years you have this purple card in your pocket, you know? There's only a few years that you can swipe those and enter those doors with your card. And it's like when you're a student, you're a part of a community, you know, you're part of a school.
Well, alone I can't do anything, but I know like being there supporting the farm workers, trying to like be there as much as I can, learn more about like what I can do to help, because I didn't know what strike or boycott was, because at school they don't teach you that stuff. And yeah, so I got really into it, knowing that if I can do something for my people, but also fight for what's right, because I can speak 3 languages. I can communicate to other people, but a lot of these farm workers, they speak Mixteco, because some of them speak Mixteco, others speak Triqui, and I speak Mixteco, so I can translate for those that speak Mixteco.
I know that I am fortunate to have grown up on the U.S. side of Mexico. I think sometimes the unfortunate things about these photos is that there's a border that separates these two, but it's also a gentle reminder that there's still continued work to be done to make sure that they're put back together seamlessly. You know, I think about the farm workers and how far they've come from their homes to do what they do for so little, to be devalued constantly for the work that, you know, at its best, you know, puts food on the table to support their families. But it's humbling to be a part of this boycott campaign and to be able to work so closely to people who are probably much braver than I can ever be.
Did I see a tattoo on your wrist?
Yeah. It's Texas and Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah. 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 It used to be just Texas, and then I added Mexico, and so now they're together.
Boycott Sakuma! Boycott Sakuma! Boycott Sakuma 3 times.
Boycott Sakuma! Boycott Sakuma! Boycott Sakuma!
staff is not okay, Sakuma has to pay. Okay, bye, gracias.
Thank you.